No, I think it's terribly important. As I said some years ago, I was very clear, and my teachers were clear, that I had had several deep Zen awakenings that teachers confirmed, but I still could see that my behavior didn't always match in fact, my outside didn't always match my inside. And that's what I see with people is that we can have deep experience. And, as you well know, it's easy for us as humans to then take the awakening or realization as a personal possession. Okay, I, Stephen, am now cool because I've had this awakening. So I'm cool, Stephen. So that creates a whole new identity, or maybe it's a half step from our other identity, but it creates a whole new issue we have to work with and another self we have to investigate and hopefully deconstruct. So I think it's terribly important. I think the application of therapy is terribly important when it's appropriate. Some people, it's obvious that there have been life issues that are not resolved. And for example, I might see somebody who's working a death of a parent or a divorce, for example, where every time they talk about it, they break into tears. And it's been years since it happened. There's a way that they're still snagged by that event. So that's one of the things I look for is a repetitive, undigested piece of material that, and I'm not a therapist, so I do recommend people get therapeutic help for that. But in the same token, I also look at it that we're on a spiritual path. So it isn't just becoming a super shiny ego. That's also not our goal. But getting a good enough established vessel to hold the absolute and let the absolute have the fullest expression possible is helped a lot by doing personal work. And what I find is like doing the exercises and the practices that I have in liberating the self. Oh, and by the way, I did change the subtitle. It's now Buddhist Practices for an Authentic Life. But I found that with folks doing this, it begins to soften those emotions. And also when they have a strong reaction, emotional reaction, they know now, well, can I sense into the vulnerability preceding this? Can I abide with that? And so that softens the sting of the vulnerability. Most of us, when we hit a vulnerability, we run as fast as possible or we turn to one of our escapes to not have to deal with it. So this is learning how to go, put our feet back in the fire in a healthy way. So I do see it having very positive effects. And in the next book on awakeness, I'm also identifying qualities of awakeness, and I'm developing practices to cultivate those. And that seems to be when those are cultivated, when one works with the vulnerabilities in liberating the self. And then in the next book I think that'll create a more complete package of working with vulnerability, opening to the absolute, and then entering the absolute through the positive qualities of awakeness. I think synthesizes into a kind of personal, individual expression of the absolute. The absolute is us, and we begin to function more cleanly as the absolute if doing these specific practices.